Start your day just right. Welcome to Mornings Together with Rob, Mon, and Bernie.
All right.
Woohoo!
Kia ora. Good morning.
Oh, Bernie Cowan first.
Bernie
Bernie
yeah,
Cowan.
Bernie. Woohoo! Yeah.
Fanboy.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Georgia,
Georgia, you got
high.
beat.
All right.
You got beaten by Bernie.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone on Facebook and wherever you're watching this. Welcome to Mornings Together at BBC.
Yeah.
That's good.
You may notice there's a slight difference around the
Yep.
table.
Yeah.
Your normal campfire host of Bernie Cowan is away on holiday, so you got stuck with sloppy seconds over here, as Colin from Golden Sands is here holding
Colin.
down the fort a little bit while
Yeah.
he's away. But I do have a question. One thing that I'm moving things. Not as good as Bernie. One thing that doesn't make sense is Bernie is supposed to be on holiday,
That's right.
and then
And here
look
he
at this
is.
What the
guy
heck?
flipping watching online.
The commitment.
Yeah.
Bernie, it's good to see you, but go away.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right.
stop, get off your phone, and go have a
That's
holiday.
right.
Some beef, eggs Benedict or
That's
something.
right.
Bro.
Exactly. But we can all be assured because we do have our favorite viewer.
Georgia.
Yeah,
Georgia.
Georgie.
Good to see
Yeah,
you
right
all.
on.
See ya.
Yeah, good girl. Yeah.
Look, we also have a few other faces beyond just
Yes.
myself. There's
Yeah.
a few other people that are here with us, and we have Sam and Annalise.
on.
Welcome.
Yeah,
cheers,
Sam and
thanks very much.
Elise,
The team.
our interns.
Yeah, so you guys are interns with Bethlehem Baptist Youth. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And so can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you? How long you been here?
Yeah, I'm Sam. I'm 18. I'm from, always lived in Tauranga, went to Tauranga Boys and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Been at this church probably like in and out when I was real young, and then, regularly coming 6 or 7 years or something. And
Yeah.
love it here.
Oh,
Grown
awesome.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Annalise. I'm also 18. I went to Otamurai College, but I was raised in Maramara in the Waikato
Cool.
and went to Maramara College and then moved here when I was 13. So now at Pathways.
Oh,
Woohoo.
awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, welcome to the warm side of the Kaimai. Is that-
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Cool. So look, it's not normal that usually everyone ends up being an intern at a church. You know, like a lot of people look at the church and then they just run from the hills, being like, not that. So we'd love to hear from you guys. So how did you kind of end up interning here at BBC? Like, what brought you in?
I got conned into it, I think.
You would be
I did heaps of stuff with the music in year 12 and 13, and then Michael made a joke last year. He goes, "Oh, you should be an intern," and then I think I took the joke too seriously. So I started thinking more about it, and then Ben Devery started talking about pathways. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I had ideas, but I was just like, there's nothing wrong. Like, I'm not going to get anything bad out of doing a year of internship and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
totally.
Anyway, and
It's very cool.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, I think for me it was a bit more of a journey. Like I knew from early on that I wanted to go into ministry.
Mhm.
And so around year 11, year 12, I started considering Bible college and like what that would look like. And I was talking to Ben Devery and he was all for Pathways. You know, he went through that program. And so he really introduced that to me. And they were like, you should be a youth intern. So here I am.
So
Yeah.
cool. Love that.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
now that office is stacked.
Ah.
Yeah. So many.
Come from
Michael
like
in
3
these
to
offices.
6.
Michael takes up the whole space.
He's sitting in that office being like, it was just a joke, man.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
I got no room to move.
Now I've got to deal with you every day.
That's cool. And so as part of the internship, so I'm learning about this as well because I'm normally not here. As part of this internship, you guys are also studying at Pathways. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. How's that been? So it's not only just like church and ministry stuff, but you're getting like chucked into like theological education.
The deep end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
Are you guys like up to your eyeballs in assignments right now?
I was up till 12 last night doing one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were, buddy. Is it due this morning?
Nah, it was due last night, so I got that all done.
Yeah.
But,
He made a commitment to be at small group there last night.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
he was there and then went home and did 2 hours before midnight.
yeah.
Wow.
That's-
Well,
Well, look, I mean, there's no shame, no judgment. I know, Georgia, there's other people who are watching who are studying. We see that. I've been there. I've been
Yep.
there being like, I got an assignment due tonight. Yeah, I can totally go do a small group.
Yeah.
I've got an early morning. I'll get it done. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. It was good fun. I think with me studying, I just figured out how much I didn't know. I
Yeah.
think I learned so much the last 2 years, but then actually being disciplined into studying and doing stuff that you just wouldn't do normally in your own Bible studies or in your own thing. I did a bibliography on Charles Spurgeon, and I just learned so much. a ridiculous amount. I was like, oh my goodness, like I would never have done this if I was just like going to church on a Sunday and youth on a Wednesday and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that dude's a legend.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah, he's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to comb through all of his sermons? Like,
Oh no,
He just rang up Philip.
yeah. Michael's got Philip was doing a thesis on him at the time, so I had a bit of a yarn with him, and he sent me like 10,000 words of notes, and it was for a 1,200 word assessment. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is way too much. And I was just like, I went through half of them. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna be able to use all of this, but
Yeah,
it was
there were
real-
some
it was real
nuggets
good.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my first assignment I was telling Rob yesterday, I had it all ready to go. I was really excited. And then the day comes and I was talking to Sam and I'm like, oh, I've written the wrong assignment. I read the wrong book.
yeah.
And so like I went out to like a real quiet space in the church. I was just like reading through like this book, trying to get anything I could. And just
Jamming
I managed to get it handed in. It was okay in the end, but I just remember just being like, oh my gosh. Like first assignment, they're gonna think I'm an absolute idiot. But no.
I have nightmares about that with sermons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dreaming that I'm preaching the wrong text. It's like,
but at church, it's easier. You can just be like, that's what the Spirit told me to do,
Exactly.
guys.
Yeah.
Last night, God told me we have to go in a different direction. So sorry
so
if this is
that's
what's
where we're
planned.
going.
It's a bit harder
Yeah.
to do that
Yeah.
at Pathways.
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
So good.
Let's go. Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it. I mean, you guys are involved with the youth ministry, but wider than that, your music, you're creative, you're doing this stuff.
Yeah.
In the youth team, I mean, there's 6 of you. You're all cranking out stuff for this coming Wednesday, tomorrow,
Oh.
first big Wednesday back from COVID. What are some exciting things on the radar? I know there'll be some parents watching this later. What's on the radar for tomorrow?
There's a whole lot on it. I think me and Michael have spent the last couple of weeks just going over a band and making sure we've got some good songs and getting ready back into it. I know Hannah and Michael were talking about last night about the game. Apparently there's going to be a sick ass game, and then just being back together. It's kind of the same like it was church on Sunday. Just a real energy.
It's an amazing vibe.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh, pretty cool.
And it's huge. So it does go up.
Yes.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
goes up, man. There's like
Yep.
over 200 that goes.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, we've also got a spoken word coming tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Oh,
Annalise.
cool. Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
right on.
Yeah.
It's going to be
yeah.
awesome.
It's
You're
exciting.
so
Exciting.
gifted in that.
It's exciting.
And is tomorrow night the first like proper night of youth back
Yeah.
Yeah.
since
Mm.
lockdown?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a party.
It's gonna be
Honestly.
nuts.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be-
yeah, we're ready.
There's gonna be some amped up kids.
I
Yeah.
don't know if we're quite ready.
Security.
It's like-
I'm ready. I'm just gonna
Security.
Yeah.
I'm as amped as them, eh?
Excitement, Steve.
Yeah.
Bound to be at least 3 holes in the walls
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
that time that night
Yeah.
is finished.
Yeah. Getting those ram swarms.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, look, hey, it's great to have you with us, and I hope you are enjoying the whole process. Have you been enjoying the study, like the education? Like, has it been like you feel like you're actually learning stuff?
Yeah,
Because some
yeah,
people
yeah.
like hate it, but
Oh no,
Yeah.
I've been learning so much. Like just half the time I feel like it goes in one ear and out the other. But then I like talk to people and I'm just like, oh no, I did that in like an assignment, or I did this and I did that. And it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely. I'm loving it. Like, I just love to be able to just sit down and go deeper
yeah,
with the word and looking at it from different angles. Like we just did an assignment, which was quite tough, but it was really interesting because I looked at a psalm and then compared it to a modern pop song,
oh, cool.
and then try to see the similarities and differences in the way like we relate to God and people. And so
Yeah.
it was really interesting, and just being able
Which
to,
So
which pop
similar.
song did you do?
I did say something by
Yeah.
a great big world and Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was
Very
really
cool.
good in Psalm 13. So
That's
Oh,
awesome.
rad.
Yeah.
They've got this terrible academic mentor who just is useless.
Rob Stacey.
What was that song?
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, that's always been one of my favorite things about theological education is
Yeah.
because you can grow up. I don't know if anyone else has found this online, but you can grow up going to church your whole life and listen to 10,000 sermons and think you know everything. And then you go to like a theological like college or education and you're suddenly like, oh no, I just knew like
Yeah.
I knew about like 3
Yeah.
centimeters of a lot of things and
Yeah.
didn't realize that there's an ocean of depth
Yeah.
underneath that.
Yeah.
mm,
So good.
And that's
Definitely.
ongoing.
Yeah.
That's your whole Christian walk. You just barely scratch the surface on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I remember that first experience for me when I went to study and I opened my first commentary.
Yeah.
And I always thought commentary sounded like the most boring thing. And then I opened it up
Yeah.
and I was like, wait, all this stuff is in here?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's so much. Also,
Right.
it was like also the curtain got removed because I used to think
Mhm.
pastors were so smart. And then I realized, oh wait,
Just read books.
we're just
in a commentary.
all we're doing is parroting. We're
That's
like,
right.
some scholars say,
Yeah.
it's something I read last night at 1 a.m.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Uh,
I love it.
That's so cool. Well, hey, it is great to have you with us,
Yeah,
and we're
so
really,
good.
really excited for you guys kind of kicking back into youth tomorrow night and finishing your assignments. When does semester finish for you? Couple weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah, I got 2 more assignments. You've only got 1 A.
Yeah, I've just got a
dodged the
portfolio
bullet.
to do, but
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so
Yeah, you're onto it. Well, look, it's great to have you guys here with us. And we've got a few more people that have joined us online. So we've got Michaela.
Yeah, Michaela.
She normally watches from a different location each week.
She's got this
Just
thing
about.
of moving around the community watching it. So
Where are you today, Michaela?
Yeah.
She's probably here for staff meeting. That's probably what
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We've got a few other things. Oh, Georgia is glad that Rob, you're back.
Oh,
There was a query about whether you had left us for the project.
That's right.
No, I wish. I mean, sorry. I haven't had that call yet.
Yep, absolutely. And then we've got Naomi Cowan, who's
Yeah,
been a
Naomi.
guest of the show.
She's
if I'm
been
not mistaken.
incredible. Yeah.
Couple of
She's
times.
incredible.
Great to have her on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got some solidarity too from Georgia, saying that she understands your pain. She's got 2 tests today, 1 yesterday, and 2 last week.
Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And she's in Wellington where it's freezing.
Yeah.
So it's
Yuck.
even worse.
Yuck. That's crazy.
That's good.
Well, look, one of the things that we have to talk about was Sunday.
Yeah.
This was
Yeah.
the first week back for churches all across the country,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Golden Sands included. Man, how good was it to be back in person?
Good.
It was crazy.
So
So
good.
good.
So
Yeah.
good. Yeah. It was electric.
Yeah, it was.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
electric. It was the first service was packed.
Yeah, they were pulling
But-
seats out of the
Yeah.
cafe and
Yeah,
putting them
it
along
was-
the back. It was like, we got no seats left.
We got
Really?
yeah,
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 it
but it
was-
was amazing. And
It
we had all
was.
the kids in.
Yeah, we had kids.
Oh,
It was
wow.
amazing as well,
Yeah.
just
That's
for,
some-
for worship. It was incredible.
That's some good chaos right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It was chaos. But I think the thing is, one of the things I wanted to do is to say, welcome home, Bethlehem
Yeah,
Baptist
welcome
Church.
Yeah.
home.
It was
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
first sort of thing, and I was like, are people going to be like, or are they going to be like, and they were just like,
They were
Yeah,
pumped.
they were
Yeah,
pumped, yeah.
everybody
They were
was
pumped to be at
pumped.
church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good.
From young
Yeah.
to seniors,
Mm.
they
Yeah.
were pumped.
That's
It was
cool.
great, Yeah.
That's cool. And you having to like pack. I watched the video, watched your live stream later. And I just remember Darren being like multiple times throughout worship saying, can you guys just squish it a little
Yeah,
bit more?
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I remember feeling like after I was
Yeah.
like, poor people after coronavirus were so used to be like,
Mm.
don't
Don't
touch
touch
me.
me.
And
Yeah.
Sunday's back and we're like, we're together.
It was so good. How was it at Golden Sands?
Oh, it was great. It was great. I mean, not even acknowledging like just the people. I can't express how happy I was to not have to stare into a camera
Yeah.
for one Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
I had multiple people saying like, hey, Colin, now you can figure out whether your jokes are actually funny or not.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because on live stream, you just say it and you're like, I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving
Well,
on.
I laughed, so yeah.
That's what I said. I was like, look, honestly, I thought I was pretty funny the last
That's
12
right.
weeks.
That's right.
There was no one to like shoot me down. Yeah, it was really, really cool. One of the things that was unexpected, I wonder if you guys found this too, but we spent like those 12 weeks online, you're doing like the live streams and all that jazz, and it's the worst, but you get through it, right? And I wasn't sure what to expect that first Sunday back, but what blew me away is we had so many people that came because they encountered us on the live stream
Yeah.
Yeah.
during the
Yeah.
whole break, during the lockdown. Like people that
Exactly.
didn't know that we existed stumbled across our live stream and showed up.
Yeah.
And that was actually mind blowing because
That's
there are
exciting.
weeks when you're doing that live stream where you're
Yeah.
like, this is just going into a black
Yeah.
hole. Like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
not going anywhere. So I was really encouraged by that there was this sense of like God doing something even when we
Yeah.
didn't
Absolutely.
think anything was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a new normal for us is that they're actually continuing to put it out live
Yeah.
online. And on Sunday, the stats said it was a good sort of 50 to 70 people watching constantly through our
Yeah.
service. So there's a bunch of people who can't be here, and
Yeah. For
Yeah.
whatever reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
overseas as well
Yeah.
that are watching. So I think that's going to just become a new normal for quite a few people if they can
Yeah.
keep that up.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it's great
There's a
we're reaching
whole
people.
online community
Yeah, it's
now.
forming.
And so the
Mm.
9 o'clock service is live hosted.
Yeah.
So which is really nice. So it still have comments and someone
Yeah.
answering prayer requests and all that kind of thing. So
That's
it's very
cool.
cool.
That's very
That's cool. And what about for your? Did you have quite a few of your youth or the young adults there as well?
Oh,
Like, was it?
Yeah, it was sack day. I remember I saw heaps of my year 9 boys that I'm a small group leader of. Saw heaps of them coming through, and then like
Oh,
the
so
whole
cool.
the whole left side was pretty much
Young
youth.
adults.
Yeah.
pretty much,
Youth and young adults.
They have their side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were extremely happy it now starts at 11 rather than 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
that 15 minutes is so good.
It was so good.
Of course, that 15 minutes would make a huge difference.
Yeah. Although people still pushed it. It's like, okay, 11:15.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
What do I have to do now?
Yeah,
I
that's
have to push my
right.
clocks forward.
Yeah, well, one of my mates was going to be late anyway, and then there was the
Yeah.
crash on the bridge, and he was like, Ollie came through at like 50 minutes after it all started. With
Yeah.
his own, did you guys see him with his own chair? Yeah, because I'd messaged him. Because I was there on the first service. I was just like, oh, guys, like get here like semi-quick because it's packed.
Yeah.
And then like he was like, oh, it's packed. So he just had his smoko chair in the back of his car. So he just brought
Yeah.
that
He
in. But
brought
there was
it
like
in.
so many
Yeah.
chairs anyway.
Yeah.
So he comes in, like sits it down next to some people, and everyone was just going, what the heck?
Yeah.
And
He
he
brought
was in
his
his
own
rugby
chair.
jumper with his mullet.
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 Oh,
Sat on his
Yeah.
deck chair.
I'm pretty sure everyone was
I'm
sitting down,
here.
so everyone saw him
Yeah,
and just
that was
staring.
great.
Awesome.
That
It
is
was crack
crack
out.
up.
That is great.
It was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Now, there's one thing that I need to ask about is we have had a request from Georgia, Rob, that you bring a onesie on Thursday.
So the during the notices we did a little promo for the next series that the kids are doing, and
That's
I
right.
was dressed as a
Oh.
giraffe.
You got some mad acting skills,
was
Rob.
really-
You did such a good job.
I mean, it made an impression. I mean, even
Yeah.
Sarah Perry
yeah.
is just, she
There
thought
you
you were
go.
fantastic.
Yeah.
We
So
also
good.
had Craig as a crocodile, but everyone's forgotten about that.
Yeah.
That's
No,
Rob
it was
the
you.
giraffe.
You were hilarious. It was
The
good.
short, fat giraffe.
No, you were awesome. Yeah.
That's amazing. Hey, look, we got one of my people. We got Lynn, who
Nice.
used to attend BBC, but
Yeah.
then has come and joined us over at Golden Sands.
Awesome.
I said it was awesome, and pumping so many new people was exciting. It was pretty good. It was lovely. And one of the things that we did as well was we had spent I feel like I'd spent 12 weeks just talking to my people online. And one of
Yeah.
the things that I was like, that first Sunday back, I just want us to hear from each other and remind ourselves of the goodness of community. So we
Yeah.
spent
Yep.
that sermon time actually talking and discussing what's been happening amongst each other. And I got people to feedback what God's been teaching them, what they've seen God
Great
doing,
idea.
and how they think we should be moving forward as a church. And I got those all into sticky notes, and there were like
Oh, so cool.
80 different sticky notes by the
Wow.
end of the service that I've then had to go and spend a couple hours yesterday compiling and digitizing.
We come up with a good idea, and then we're like, dang.
Yeah, I know. I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, now I have to deal. I should have got them to do this digitally in the first place. But it was just so cool to have that time of hearing from one another. And for
Yeah.
me, there was like this reminder of like, yeah, I think it's so easy for me as like a leader to feel so disconnected from the community, being like, I guess
Yeah.
this is what we're saying.
Yep.
And it was just literally so encouraging for me
Absolutely.
to get back and hear from what God was doing,
Yep.
not here in the offices,
Yeah.
but out in the streets in our
Yeah.
communities. I mean, because I'm sure you guys felt this too, but like at Golden Sands, when I kept thinking, what was God doing during lockdown? I kept saying to our church, the greatest things God's doing is not happening through the organizational office of the church.
That's right.
Like that's not where the Spirit's actually been active. The Spirit
Yeah.
has been doing the most in our homes, in our streets, in our
Yeah.
neighborhoods. It's been in the
100%.
congregation
Yeah.
Yeah.
that the main work's been being done.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool to be able to hear those
Absolutely.
stories. And I was
Yeah.
just amazed. God has done so much
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
lockdown.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Like I went first Sunday out of lockdown, I went and saw my best friend get baptized along with 10 other people. And that was
Whoa.
just so amazing to see because, you know, you're at home and you're thinking, oh, God's doing nothing. But that's obviously so far from the truth.
Yeah.
And just to be with a community of people who love Jesus and they're going to go make that step to
Yeah.
be baptized was amazing.
Yeah,
That's
Absolutely.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we had Clint and Paul and Norde
Yeah.
share on Sunday morning, and he's civil defense, one of the chief civil defense guys for the whole area.
Yeah.
Mm.
Paul is dealing with domestic violence and in
Yeah.
the home, and just their experiences as followers of Jesus, working in
And essential workers.
as an essential
Yeah.
worker
Mm.
in the midst of that, and just what they were.
Yeah.
That was powerful hearing.
That was
Yeah, that would've
really
been
powerful.
profound.
It's like all the heroes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, or in the homes, in the street, in the
Yeah.
neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And I think that's been the brilliant thing about even the podcast
Yep.
of being able to hear from people who have been in the community on
Yeah.
the front line,
Mm.
Yep.
hearing from different ones. So Craig's going to do that
Cool.
for a few weeks, just kind of people that have been engaged
Yeah,
with
that's amazing.
community and just to hear their experience of COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
One of
lockdown.
one of
Yeah.
the reflections that someone from my church said, which blew me away, is they talked about, they didn't mention the Song of Mary, but it made me think of it. You know, like Mary, when she is told that she's going to have Jesus,
Yeah.
she has this song, the Magnificat, and it's
Yeah.
a beautiful
It is
piece of scripture. And one of the things that she talks about is how God is bringing the high people are being brought low, and the low people are being lifted up. And so
Yeah.
one of the things that the congregation talked about, what God's been doing during lockdown, is they said there's been this divine thing where the lowly people, all of the essential workers, have been honored and lifted
Yeah.
up.
So good.
And all the people who've normally been in that place of power and position
Yep.
have all been brought low and hidden.
Yeah.
And it made me think about that even from the church. Like us three, we are often the ones with the platform. And you guys as leaders, we're up at the front and normally being like, God's doing this.
Yep.
And there's been this humbling, And I think
Mm.
Sunday
Yeah.
was this huge reminder of that, of
Yep.
actually the
Our
high
people.
got brought low.
Yeah.
And the low people, the essential workers, the
Yeah.
ones who normally don't get the platform on
Yeah.
Sunday,
Yeah.
they're the ones that God's been using to do amazing things during this
Yeah.
lockdown
Mhm.
season. So for me, it was like a privilege to hear that and see that and be like, oh, thank God the church's not on our shoulders, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good reminder. Hey,
Yeah.
it ain't about you.
It ain't
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was so good. I know we are all looking forward to keeping this going and how blessed we
Yeah.
are. Lots of other countries. I've got family members in the
Mhm.
States and friends in the UK who are still
Yep.
in lockdown for an
Yeah.
unknown
Anywhere
period
for
of
a while.
time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that was probably the two tensions that I held on
Mm.
Sunday, the celebration and
Yeah.
electric. It was amazing. And then realizing, God, we're so blessed. Thank you for
Yeah.
the grace
Mhm.
extended to us
Yeah.
in this nation when the world's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just kind of holding that tension
Totally.
of, oh God,
Mhm.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tension that's there is that we as a nation actually did all stop. You know, there's a number
Yeah.
of nations who go, we need to stop. And they're just like, we'll
Yeah.
do what we want, you know? And
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like, man, if you actually work together as
Yeah.
a nation, you get to this place.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
just, it
Exactly.
got
Yeah.
ended. You know,
Yeah.
and that's exciting thing for me.
That is
Yeah.
Yeah.
completely. Yep.
Very cool. Well, look, the good news is that we get to keep those going, and
I know.
Sunday
That's
will
right.
be rolling around again, and how nice it is. But like we said, we will still be doing all the online stuff. I
Yeah.
know BBC, you're still pushing it. Golden Sands, we are now live streaming our services.
Awesome.
yeah.
Yep, on our
Colin.
YouTube channel. If you
Wow.
wanted to search Golden Sands Baptist on YouTube, they're there. They're a bit janky, like it was our first one on Sunday, so
Hey,
be
come on.
gracious and kind to us. We're still building up that. But for those who need to watch, you are available to do it there. But obviously, we do still want to do like the normal things of caring and looking out for people. So, Rob,
Yep.
there's some
Yep.
things that normally Bernie says that I
Yeah,
can give it over to
well,
you to go through.
Let's talk about the virtual campfire first of all.
Yeah.
Bernie's
That's
like,
right.
oh, Rob, I feel your heart there.
That's right.
We love to be able to continue doing this, and so as you know, we've changed the format slightly, and we still would love to hear your stories at bethlehem.org.nz. This is a way in which we can share with our community who watch a little later in the day. We're still getting 300-400 views of this during the week, so others get to hear this
Crazy.
later. And
Yeah.
even if you're not with us live this morning, we know that you're live with us later in the day. So thanks
Yep.
for joining us.
Love it.
We also have an amazing pastoral care pastor, Pastor Eric Skulperot. He'd love to hear from you as well. If there's something ongoing needs within the community for yourself or someone that you know, we over the last couple of weeks have been blessed with the privilege of distributing $25,000 worth of food. We have a number of those care packages here at the church, which we'd love to get in the hands of those who really need it. And there's only one thing that they need to sort of connect with us over, and that is that they are in need because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
And so we'd love to be able to do that. We've still got a number of those
Yeah.
to give away. So if you have any needs, please do get in contact with the church through care@bethlehem.org.nz or by ringing the number 576-2344. We also have a prayer line, which we'd love to be able to pray for you. We have a text prayer, which is a 4040, as you can see on the bottom of the screen there. You need to put in BBC prayer so it comes to us, and we'd love to be able to pray with you. We have our services, which has changed just slightly. I know people were turning up with smiles on their face for that extra 15 minutes they got to sleep in.
Yeah, shifting from 10:45 to 11.
Yeah,
Big deal.
big
Big
change.
deal.
Messes
Big
with
deal.
people's bodies there, but we're at 9 and 11, and we are now live streaming on Church Online at 9 a.m. So if you can't make it for whatever reason, tune in that way as well.
Yeah.
And we also packaged this together. The wonderful Logan, who is producing for us behind today, he helps us put that together and put it out online through Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You just need to search for Mornings Together, and you'll be able to find us. That would be awesome. Cool. I
Well
think that's enough.
done.
Well done.
There you go.
Robster. Yeah, Rob.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bernie
Radio
will be
announcer.
proud. I'm
That's
sure
right.
he'll be proud.
I almost did it about as fast as Bernie.
Oh,
Yeah, I
look at
know.
that. So first of all, Bernie's watching. You should not be watching. Go have a holiday.
That's right.
I'm still convinced, but he thought you did a good job. Just
Yeah,
pure
well
fire.
done.
And
Love
then as well, he was really happy with your unofficial tagline with the virtual campfire.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I'm
great to
enjoying
have you
this.
here. Now go away, hang out with your wife and your kids. You have a break. So as part of the new format that you guys have shifted to is you have like Talk It Out Tuesday
Oh, yeah.
and Feel Good Thursday. So today's Talk It Out Tuesday, where we have an opportunity to talk about, what Craig shared with everyone on
Yeah.
Sunday and just kind of dig a bit deeper, and pull out the kind of like the reflections on what that means for us. And I was watching his sermon yesterday, and then I watched it again this morning, and he lays down a pretty strong call to action. And
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a pretty good
Yeah.
line in the sand moment for BBC, I reckon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how he opened up. He kind of, like he said, he grabbed the tail of
Yeah.
Amos
Mm.
and tied it to the kingdom, his kingdom series. The kingdom of God is
Yeah.
like, the kingdom of heaven is like. And I love that. I love the opening scripture in Amos 5. Let justice roll
Mm.
like a river.
Yeah.
And I love that. And his righteousness. What was the other part of it? Let justice roll like a
Righteous
river.
never failing stream.
And never failing stream. Yeah. And I just
That's why
thought
he's a
that was
pastor.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That was amazing. Yeah, I love that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a beautiful analogy that actually connects to the active part of kingdom obedience.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we sort of go, oh, we just need to do these kind of acts of service or elms, as the scriptures talk about sometimes. But actually, we are conduits for his kingdom.
Yeah.
So the flowing aspect, I love how he took that apart a little bit. It's just saying actually justice and righteousness comes through us. It can be displayed to others. We can be the source of
Yeah.
that justice.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I thought it was quite cool last night with the young adults. They
Yeah.
they really dug into some of
Yeah.
that. What does justice look like
What does it look
for
like
us here and
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how can we enact that, especially now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way when we
definitely.
talk about how we are the ones who are conduits of justice and righteousness,
That's
and
right.
even what's going on in the States. It's like, what
Yeah,
can we do
definitely.
now?
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm.
How
Yeah.
can we
Yeah.
change our narrative, even our home narrative,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
upbringing narrative, now in us? Yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I was watching on Instagram.
Mm.
A pastor over in America, Matt Chandler, he was talking about how
Name drop.
yeah,
drop.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just on the phone with him. I just had to call up. I was watching this, and he just had a real good perspective, because there's been a lot of churches and just people just going, oh, like this is like some of this movement is actually real bad, and we just don't want to be a part of it or
Yeah.
anything like that. But he just called it, and he just said, like, when the heck does that say in the Bible that if there's something bad going on, just leave it? Like it never
Mm.
says that anywhere, and it never says just don't take action, just let it go. And like
Yeah.
if there's bad stuff going on, like just leave it. Like we're called to be there and spread the gospel and change
Yeah.
it. Like that's what he was just getting at. Like just if there's something bad, you go and change it. If there's something overseas like really bad going on, we go and change it. If there's something in our community and our family, you go and change it. And he was just really
Yeah.
like just calling it out on people and just saying like your job is not to sit on social media, but to actually go change. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was real cool.
And that's
Yeah.
a big call, eh? Not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
to tweet about it, but
Yeah.
to get off
Yeah.
your couch.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right.
And learn about it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
learn about it, and even look at your life and think, okay, where have I?
Mm.
Where
Yeah.
where have those subtle messages have come through?
Yeah.
Where I
Yeah.
maybe have that? Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or so I
Mhm.
thought, it's actually really good. So I've been doing a lot of reading.
Mm.
Our
Like
perspective-
seriously,
Our
yeah,
perspective around this is often very self-centered. So
yeah,
what I think Craig was doing well on Sunday was opening us up to the fact that
Yeah.
we've got to see beyond our own. We create these walls, we create these
Yeah.
comfort zones. And
Yeah.
actually to look over that wall every now and then isn't enough. It's actually, we need to get rid of those walls. And he used the analogy of creating dams.
Yeah.
yeah,
The river is supposed to flow. You're not supposed
Yeah.
to dam it up. And those dams will eventually burst.
Burst.
And justice will come. There's be this long-awaited flood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that
Yeah,
imagery, because that's what we do. We're just
Yeah.
like, actually, I'm deciding whether or not you're worthy.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we in our Western world, I know we use that a lot as a term, but it's true. We have the power to decide whether or not something is going to flow, and we become those dams. But eventually, like we're seeing with the Black Lives Matter movement, there's just this worldwide, like, we're sick of this.
Exactly.
We're sick of racism.
Yeah.
Get your act together, world,
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it. I don't like seeing what's going on in some places, but this has got to happen.
Yeah.
This is something for our time.
The dam is burst.
The
You know,
dam
like
has
really,
burst.
yeah.
Yeah. How did that land for you, Annalise?
I loved it. I really love what he said. I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he said that social justice doesn't happen just in law reforms. It happens in the hearts of people.
Yeah.
So the
Transform
heart needs
heart.
to change. So
Yeah.
a law can change, but if the people's hearts stay the same,
Exactly.
then nothing really, it's not really worth it, I really love that, because for me, I'm really passionate about social justice, and that just cleared some things up for me, just thinking, okay, how for me to make a difference in my immediate circle is to start changing my heart first, and then stuck to the mic, let that flow onto others, help influence others. So I really loved it. I loved how outward focused it was.
Yeah.
And the energy, the way people responded to it was really awesome.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
I really like what he said too about how the church, like if we're going to enact now, like now is our time right now. And how people are in a green drought.
Yeah.
Where it
Yeah.
looks really good on the outside, and maybe even Kiwi culture, she'll be right.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
We look really good, but underneath, it's a drought, man. It's
Yeah.
dry
Yeah.
as a bone. And I just thought, man, that is just so. People are, I think, maybe a lot of times maybe reluctant to say, "Hey, I'm struggling," especially in the church.
Oh yeah.
We want to look a certain way, and to admit something, we're almost. I think sometimes the people I talk to are afraid that will be held against them.
Yeah.
Which is, it's like, we're broken.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it, and let's get some life to someone. You know what I mean? It's like being honest about it, being honest about your experience in COVID. What did that expose? And I know I've kind of seen some of the drought areas in my life, thinking, "Oh my goodness, Lord, okay," I'm just being honest about it.
And the helpful analogy he used from the wheat and the weeds is that we want to create a perfect ground for God to exist in. And I use the analogy of some people going, that person shouldn't be here. Why are they here? You pull the weeds up, you lose the wheat. So there's this tension that people don't like living in. And it's like, actually, we need to be able to exist in these same things. Eventually those things will go. The wheat will be harvested. But actually we need to hold that tension. And we don't like that. We like comfort. And so we'll just forget about it. We'll slide it under the rug, and then I don't have to feel that emotion. I don't have to wander through that valley holding that stuff. I can just put it aside and forget about it. And that's what we do. That's our default setting. And so we've got to learn how to hold those things.
Exactly. Hold attention.
That was actually probably the hardest part of the sermon for me, because he went through it and I was like, the justice stuff, I was like, this is really, really good. And then he went into that parable about the wheat and the chaff. And actually, like, he laid down this real strong call about we need to not care. And I just sat there convicted, like, but I think we do. Like, I genuinely, I think we really, really do. And when you watch the way the church has often responded to difficulty in the past, is that if there is a small bit of sin in the camp, we're like, well, the whole cause is lost. There's nothing there for us to engage with. And then when we talk about like how we build our churches or who we pick for leadership, often we're looking for perfect fields of wheat. And if anyone is slightly imperfect, they get ditched out. Or if we try to have conversations, like, I think this is one of the things that I look at particularly with America, is that conversation about race. It's uncomfortable. Like, it never goes well. It's controversial. And for years and years, they're like, oh, well, we don't want to get into that because there's some weeds there. And we don't want that to spoil the wheat that's growing here amongst our church. And that happened for so long that now that dam has burst. And so for me, it was actually like, I felt convicted listening to that, being like, he's laid out a call to be okay with the weeds and the wheat. And I think I was just sad because I was like, as a church, I think we've got a lot of growing to do. A lot of growing to do before we get there.
absolutely.
Like you said, because the default is to pull it out.
Rip it out
and,
really quick.
and to be separate.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's not what we're called to do. I think that's what the parable, you're going to have both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the tension, my kingdom still will prevail in the end.
Yeah.
But it's both now.
Yeah.
And so step into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how does that work when you have leaders who don't believe the same things theologically that we do on every space? You know, you start raising up leaders or young people, like you get that generational divide.
Yeah.
Usually what you guys think about theology is typically different from what pastors in their 50s think about theology.
Yeah.
And often that can be like a glass ceiling that we hit because we don't want to let people into leadership because there's some weeds there that are going to spoil. Like there's that tension there.
Yeah.
That like practically, I think we have a lot of growing to do. At least the Baptist Church in New Zealand, I think we have a lot of growing to do.
Yeah.
We're not okay with tension.
No.
And that's what we've got to learn to do. And so as you guys are learning, you grab something, you go, wow, this is fascinating. And then you hold that same lens up to something else. You're like, that challenges something within you. We've got to be okay with that. And so often we're not.
Yeah.
It's a real trouble.
Yeah.
One of the things that we wrestled with last night at our young adults group, it's fascinating hearing what rises to the surface when you have these conversations, was about what you can do. You know, often the example is, and I used it last night, of some friends who decided we're selling everything, moving to India. And then we got right down to what is in this moment something you can do. A text to someone who comes to mind, you know, how is righteousness and justice coming through you in the moment, in the month, in the year, in your life? We always go, it's got to be this big life changing, altering thing. It's just that momentary thing each moment. How am I being obedient and responsive to God at the moment around some of these issues? And it could be just to be friendly to someone in that moment, right through to the sliding scale of God's calling me to move somewhere really uncomfortable and do something for him. You know, I think it's something we don't wrestle with enough.
Exactly.
It actually be fascinating, like as you guys who are leaders who are growing in our movement and voices that we desperately need to hear and listen to, like thinking about that call to action, like where do you see if there's a church that needs to join in with that justice movement? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but genuinely, I'd love to hear from your perspective, because a lot of pastors, we miss that. Like we miss hearing from the voices that are actually on the ground with the people. We go and we read our commentaries and then we come with this great idea, but it'd be fascinating to hear from your guys' perspective. Craig's laid down this call for justice and action. Where do you think the areas that we really need to invest into that are? Because that'll cost us, and it would be great to know your thoughts. I am putting you on the spot, but go for it. Shoot for the moon.
Come on.
You got something?
All I can think of is like the homeless situation in Tauranga is dire.
Yeah.
You know, I was someone was I think it was on Sunday morning, the husband and wife team who they were talking about it, and that the homeless people, they had nowhere to go, so they had to be put into like motels and housing by the government, and that was just like the tip of the iceberg of what really needed to be done for them, because they are facing so much more issues than just not having a roof over their heads. You know, and so I think like doing something for those people would be a really good
massive
thing.
like
awesome. It's huge. Like it's a huge complex issue, but
that we don't touch because there's some weeds in there that it'll get messy if we get involved in that.
Exactly.
We'll scoot around that one.
We'll scoot around that one.
But we do that.
We do.
Stop making us feel uncomfortable.
We'll give them a food parcel if they come in. Like that's the danger. Like that's why I want to draw these voices out, because it's really important for us to sit with that tension.
Well, the most awkward thing is when, I don't know, at the Bethlehem shopping center, I'll go down and I'll buy myself some dinner before or after night service, and there's a homeless person sitting outside the pizza shop or wherever I'm buying my food, and they just look so done, and you're just like, I've got all this food in my hands, and I'm just going to share it with one person or just myself. And I feel so guilty because I'm like, I know that maybe that person hasn't had dinner or had food today. And it's really tough. It is really awkward and it's a issue.
It's a good tension to have though.
I think also like, it's kind of really broad, but I was thinking about last night with young adults and stuff. Like especially in our church, we're really good at getting together and having a good community and stuff like that. But like with young adults, I feel like it's like, I love it, and there's no way I'm not going to stop going. No way we're going to change it. But I think we should start like maybe looking outside and looking at other people. Like, what can our young adults do? Like, there was 25 of us last night.
Yeah.
What can us 25 people do, like together, to change something, like outside as well? Like, I think, like Sunday mornings and everything like that, we're really good at coming together and really good at learning, really good at loving on one another. But like, how can we love on other people outside of us, like, and outside the church? Because like, if we had like, so 3 Monday nights a month, we come together and we think, and then like one Monday night we go out and we just serve people. Like, we don't, or just another day a week, like a Thursday night, we just all go out and we just serve someone or a community, people in our community. Like that, that's a massive difference. Yeah.
And be part of something that's already happening.
You
know what I mean? I just think sometimes when I get my coffee in the morning on Bethlehem on Moffett Road, you see a whole bunch of people weeding that good neighbor garden in front of the community church. I'm like, there's like 30 people. It's like, this is awesome. This community of serving, and it's to help people that are in need. This whole veggie garden. I just love things like that. Like, right on, brother. I think that's awesome to go and serve.
And there's that amazing learning that comes from being in that moment.
Absolutely.
Feeling that pressure, feeling that awkwardness, and just going, oh Lord, what are you telling me in this? You know, what does this mean? That's a good thing. Good, great ideas.
It's like, I think it's just our job as church leaders, as much as we can, to try and elevate those voices. Because the danger is we sit in our offices and we're worried about Sunday, because Sunday is always rolling around, and we need to get our programs ready for Sunday. And then we're asking ourselves, was that a good Sunday? Did we get that Sunday right? Can we tweak anything about that Sunday? When you guys are sitting here being like, I don't care, there's all this other stuff. You're sitting there worrying about whether that MC slot went well. I don't give a toss. When we're facing like homelessness in our city, or we're facing like real needs in our community.
That's right.
And so I think it's having your guys' voices are so key. And so please keep speaking and challenging us, because the danger is, like Craig mentioned, is that as leaders, we want to always consolidate what we have. And so church leaders and church pastors, just being honest, we're real good at building up dams. We're really good at building up resources. And we constantly need people to just keep pushing us to be like, no, this is what matters. This is where we need to be. And I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is and get there out and do it.
And one of the big things we just had in church exec team retreat, and one of the big things that came out of that from Craig and from us as a team, is that we're actually needing to give this church to the next generation to foster and to grow and to turn it into what they will inherit as well. Often you inherit what has already been done, and you're like, yay, thanks for that.
I'm over this.
Can we have something else now? So you know that the real heart, I know, of the leadership of the church is to draw in the young adults and have them lead us in the midst of this and walk together in that. So,
and it's not even that, like, even on this live stream, we're like, it's your guys' response in these questions that are actually bringing up a lot of comments. So we have Michaela saying, preach, Sam.
Oh, here we
go. Darren Porter, come on, Sam. Another one, great idea, Sam. Go to the people, Sam. You're another one. Yes, Sam. Georgia. Again, just so great for us to value being the hands and feet of Jesus. Sarah saying the importance of looking for the weeds and going out there, not being scared by them, because we're just so easily scared by the weeds.
It's very cool.
So I think this is just always going to be one of our challenges. I think Craig's laid down kind of like a mark that even for us at Golden Sands, we're processing that too. And the challenge will be for us to, how do we just not build up that dam, but keep that movement, that stuff flowing, and that forward movement.
Absolutely. And churches working together to do that. To be a force instead of so siloed, but to be something together. In our city, in Papamoa. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So these relationships are real important. That we keep that up.
Well, that, and then I get to come steal your coffee and supplies every once in a while.
Colin.
Hey, you're no Ross. You're no Ross Horton yet. But, you might get there.
I'll try. I still have yet to build up the reputation of that bar. But it's a fascinating one. I think we'll just have to keep that conversation going and keep on building in that and into our communities, because otherwise the risk is Sundays just becomes normal again. I think there's a real danger of, now that we're in level 1, everyone's looking to fill up their life again. We're getting back to all the things that we've done. And we're all going to be super busy again real soon. And all these conversations and the things that are really important, God's done a focusing for us on what really matters. And there's a real danger that just gets lost as stuff picks up.
Absolutely. I mean, I was standing on the soccer field on Saturday going, oh, this is cold. oh my goodness, what am I doing?
Yeah.
How did this happen? No, they're just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is normal, the old normal. What do I need to do to make sure I still have that space? But it was that realization. We're back to it.
Yeah,
absolutely. And slowing enough at a Jesus pace to notice the guy that's hurting.
Yeah.
And we remember we talked about that when we first had you on the podcast. I remember, Colin, we were talking about just paying attention and awake to what is going on around us.
Yeah.
And still staying like that. Yeah. So awake and slowing enough to notice.
I like that.
Not getting too fast, too quick.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about this tomorrow at Serious Coffee. It's such a hot topic for me right now. And just realizing Jesus was slow. And that is what don't even get me started. But
there's a Serious Coffee sermon coming. We can feel it. We can totally feel it. Yeah. Well, look, this is probably a good place for us to wrap that up. And I think my encouragement for the listeners, whether you're watching us live this morning or you're listening to us later on one of the podcasts, it's just to keep that conversation going.
Yeah.
And genuinely, I do mean it for you guys. Please keep voicing where you think God is moving.
Amen.
Like genuinely, the church desperately needs your voice. It needs your perspective. And we need you to keep reminding us not to just get concerned with Sundays.
Exactly.
Because the danger is we think that's what you want. We're like, we think you want better lights and we think you want better sound. And then we do spending all of our money on tech so we can give you a better experience on Sundays. And you're here telling us, I don't care about that. Let's talk about these other things. So please continue to speak. We desperately need your voice and your leadership for our church. Not in the future. We need it now.
Which is great.
So with that, I wonder, as we draw us to a close, maybe Sam, could you pray for us and pray for our church, pray for Golden Sands in there too, that we might be able to kind of continue to follow that call? Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Lord, we just stand before you now, or sit before you now, and just really thank you that our country is so lucky to be able to get out of this lockdown and be able to meet together and have Sunday together, Lord. But out of this, we just really pray for Bethlehem Baptist and Golden Sands and the Church in New Zealand, Lord, that we just focus on what you've called us to do, Lord, on actions. And it's not just on the Sunday, Lord, like throughout the week, what we can do individually and as groups and as a church, Lord, what you've called us to do, what justice you want us to flow from you through us, Lord, and into our world, Lord, into New Zealand. And we just, we pray that you be able to show us the actions and as generation through generation, we will be able to keep it going, Lord. Again, we thank you and we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Awesome. Sam.
Amen.
Thanks for being with us, team.
Thanks for having us.
So great to have you guys with us, and all the best for those last few assignments that you need to get done.
Nearly at the finish line, but
push through and just steal all the resources from Rob. He's got a lot of books in his office.
We do.
Colin lives too far away to steal his.
I do. And all the best as well for youth group tomorrow night. That'll be a really big night.
It's going to be good. I'm pumped.
Getting you guys together again.
Awesome.
It's going to be really cool. And on Thursday, we are going to be back. It's going to be, we have the Gilmores, Bryce and Kate Gilmore with us, which will be really, really cool. And as we finish, I wonder, I'm going to put you on the spot, we've had someone request whether as we finish,
do we get a flavor?
Do we get a flavor Rob today?
You get a flavor Rob on Thursday. That's the new setup.
Is that the new setup?
I'll take requests. Feel free to Facebook send me
the Feels Thursday.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So if you have any requests for any flavor tips, anything you're looking for of how to do any good cooking, get that messaged up onto this live stream or just text Rob. Just show up at his house. Literally knock on his door.
Rob, I need to know
teach me how to cook. But yeah, awesome. And one last one, we've had Ashley saying Annalise. You got a big fan.
Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then Georgia, thanks guys. What a great episode. Georgia, we miss you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks
for live back here.
Come live back here. That's exactly right. So with that, we'll draw that to a close and join us on Thursday at 9 a.m. We would love to be with you there as we have the Gilmores with us. And then, you can always find these online to listen to them later. Absolutely. But with that, we will sign off and we'll see you on Thursday.
See you later.
See you later.